There you go. Got it. On your call, Charlie.
Should be good, sir.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. I'd like to call the meeting in order at 7:01. Please stand and join us in your pledge of allegiance. Mrs. Weibel, would you lead us, please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Thank you. I'd like to welcome everyone to our September 12th Board of Education meeting. We welcome your input, we welcome your presence, and without any further ado, Mr. Staten, we'll move on.
Thank you. So we've got some new staff members tonight. Sometimes we do this before the board meeting, but we decided to do this as part of the board meeting because I wanted everyone to see the new staff that we have. So we have some new staff and then we have some staff in new places. So we're going to recognize everyone here tonight. So I would like to start with the principals and then have them introduce their staff members as they could. I'll start at the high school with Mr. Reed.
All right, good evening. So the high school is fortunate to have 3 new teachers this year, which are all great additions to the high school staff. So I'll introduce each of them at this time. We have Miss Isabella Arrigo, who joins us from. She's been along, which is great to bring somebody back to the Sequoia family. So we're very excited about that. She joins Mr. Cardillo on our Phys Ed staff. And already off to a great job with some great new ideas, and so she's hit the ground on this. We're excited to have Mr. Rigo with us. We have Miss Megan Kempney. He has some years of experience in education and has re-entered the education field, so we're very excited to have her on board in our special ed department, primarily teaching some resource sections and some integrated co-teaching special ed sections as well. So welcome to Ms. Kempney. And we also have Miss Amanda Hartnett. You know, she taught very well for years in the middle school, and we're glad to have her back teaching chemistry and applied science at the high school as part of our science department. So 3 great additions to the high school, all off to a great start. We're very excited to have them and appreciate the board's support in providing the high school community with these excellent educators. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Reed. Mr. Madden.
Well, we have 3 new hirees here. Well, one's not so new, but last year for our middle school. The first one, I'll start in the back with Ann Mackey. She's an actual graduate of Sequoia. Ann actually just had come in to apply to be a substitute teacher, and we had a teacher assistant opening, and it really worked out perfect. She's a certified English teacher, has a ton of experience, so very lucky to have Ann. So thanks. Kristen Wilson, who's also a graduate of Sequoia. Middle school art teacher, so I want to thank the board obviously for supporting that position, so we could have an art teacher designated specifically. So, Kristen. And then Taylor Shocko, who was with us last year. Well, not to start there because someone left. She came back. Actually, honestly, this could not have worked out better. You know, I'm good friends with Amanda. I was very sad to see that she was leaving us last year. I know a lot of people were, and a lot of students and staff. And you know, we lucked out grabbing Taylor, just finishing her student teaching at Whitesboro, and Taylor has done a fantastic job. So we're very happy to have her on board. And then to hear Amanda is coming back is just like very at the top. It works out really well. And then I'm going to say Jackie Corletto. I know Mark's going to talk about Jackie. So Jackie is coming over, as you guys know, to the middle school for a bit in the middle of the day. I'll keep that library open. So welcome, Jackie. Right, that's all I'm going to say.
This is the first year I only have 1 person, so I normally have many people. So yes, as Mr. Madden alluded to, Mrs. Corletto recently transitioned from 1st grade educator to the library media specialist position, which we're very thrilled about. Already just the change in the library, if you have been in there, I have to say, it is the most engaging, colorful. She has it set up like Barnes and Nobles, and I'm gonna say, but there's a reason for it, because the kids are drawn to it already. It's so inviting and nurturing, and she's made a lot of great learner spaces for our students. And I know we've had many conversations already on introducing new databases that we have not really done before with the elementary. So starting those students researching and editing and working on that, we're really excited about that. And then also the STEM opportunities in the room next door that she has been building as well too. So we're really happy with all the progress that we made. She's got a lot of new ideas. This is a quick story, it'll be quick. All summer, she took out every book in there, in circulation, all done. And the whole summer, it was piles on the floor, kids were coming in, your kids were coming in helping. 2 days before school starting, the piles were still there. Mr. Parker goes, she's not getting done. I go, you know her? She's gonna get it done. I go, trust me, I'm not even worried, Opening day, our meetings were in there, all ready to go. See, I knew it. So, but she did a fantastic job and we're really excited to have her in that position.
So thank you, principals, thank you, new staff, and thank you, board, for supporting these hires. So next presentation we have is the Racing Red Hawks After School Running Club. And to discuss that, we have, is that for you, Mr. McFarland? I'm not sure.
Okay, so the Racing Red Hawks, I mean, kind of John will brainchild, you go first.
We're just looking at something to increase the running community at the youth age. There's not really anything that exists. Just to get the kids acclimated with the sport and the activity of lifetime running, and an after-school program for the kids before they have the opportunity to do modified sports. So our target area was for 3rd through 8th. We did 8th all the way up to 8th just because we had very low numbers in our modified this year. But we've had an awesome turnout. Right now, we're hoping to start September 20th. Meet Wednesday afternoons and for an hour, and then provide an after-school activity for the youth to get into like the running community and just fit and healthy lifestyle. I've been running for most of my life since I was like 10 years old. So I've been in the sport for 27 years, my 37 years. So just to give them an opportunity to get after school, kind of like almost like an after school phys ed program, but a little more running oriented, to open up their eyes to I would say the greatness of running, but the mental health aspect and the encouragement and discipline and, just it's something that's difficult, but it's something that's very rewarding, and just to make our youth a little bit stronger and engaging and fun.
And we've done like an initial survey of students already, so we're up to 44 interested students. There's 25 in grades 3rd and 4th grade, 20 at the 5th and 6th grade level, and then just 1 7th grader at this point. But again, part of the goal would be to get them started young, so that by the time they hit that modified 7th grade level, the numbers would be a little higher. So we are welcoming 7th and 8th graders into this at this point, so that they can get used to the idea of running, even if it's at a shorter distance. The middle school and elementary at this point are going to be kind of run separately because of the schedules of the 2 schools. So I'm kind of taking charge of the middle school, and then Laura's kind of taking charge of the elementary branch. But it's all teacher and parent volunteers at this point. We have people willing to volunteer at both the middle school and the elementary to run it. And we're hoping for 6 weeks. And at this point, starting next Wednesday, if possible.
Thank you. Any questions, comments from the board?
No, I think this is fantastic. We were just talking before this meeting started about trying to see more parents step up and volunteer. And I said to Michael at that, people stepping up to volunteer, there it is.
You have
Yeah,
parent
it-
volunteers too, you said?
Yeah, I was gonna say, as soon as the word kind of got out, I've already had a couple parents text me and be like, are you looking for help? I was like, yes, absolutely. Come on down.
We don't know what the protocol is as far as like, obviously. We're like all background check, fingerprint, stuff like that, but as far as like parent volunteers, like. What needs to be done as far as to help to make sure everything is okay, but. It seems. Our goal is to kind of get involved with everything that's already happening, so we have the Which Way is the 5K, we have Abigail's athletes and try to just, like, we're all kind of doing the same thing, just. Kind of make it a little bit bigger and a little bit better and work together. So as far as that, we just, with that direction, we're not sure exactly. We don't want to start before we have, parents coming and we don't know who they are, stuff like that.
We'll discuss that. I think we're all very excited with this. Anytime we can get students outside and. I have one question. You did mention youth age. I know Mr. Baden had discussed his possibility of running with the students. Does that disqualify him because of your youth age?
I could be faster than him, so. We'll be-
Yeah. Cheer it, so they'll be with the high group, middle.
Young at heart.
And we do have a couple of us that are CPR certified. I know myself, I am, Leah is, Sarah, Hannah's working on hers, so we're really close with having a lot of kind of issues already covered. If there's any, I guess, guidance to things that we might be lacking or things we should have in place, that would be super helpful.
And you'll be on school property?
School property in the town park as long as it's allowed.
Might not want to start with the hills.
Yeah.
Off the hills, girl.
It won't be difficult. The goal in my head is to build it up each week a little bit more, and I'm gonna put the hill in there at some point for the middle schoolers. The middle schoolers, I'm gonna see what happens.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Nate, we'll continue with you. Board of Education Subcommittee reports.
Sure, we had a technology meeting on August 31st, and it's my goals, chair of that.
Oh, yes, I am. So we had an amazing meeting, technology subcommittee meeting. We had it in this room here. Mr. Kempney was there. He gave a great overview of the different applications, what's being used, different software, how many licenses, gave a very deep dive, like a very descriptive overview. I think he could have probably gone a little bit longer, but we had cut him the hour. Mrs. Hoffman gave an amazing overview of what the new website is going to look like. It is true, like she's done stunning work. It's truly amazing. She's standardizing all of the pages. She's working with the organizations. It looks great. Can't wait until it gets rolled out. We heard from Mrs. Leone and Mrs. Reel about how they are facilitating some shared partnership with the other teachers in teaching them how to use the different applications and providing some support within their building. Overall, it was really enlightening, and Ron, you were there. It was really enlightening to hear about all of the different services that we have and all the different applications and how they're being leveraged and how they're working together to make sure everybody's up and running. I thought it was great.
Thank you. Yesterday, there was a legislative meeting for the School Boards Institute. So I'm moving on, sorry, the School Boards Institute. I jumped online into that meeting. I didn't stay for the full meeting. I wasn't able to, but they talked about financial stress of district, and one of the number one concerns that they have is the incoming mandate for electric school buses. Mr. Cowan and I and our transportation director had a meeting online a couple of weeks ago with a company that does audits for how that will impact schools. And later this month, there's another School Board Institute meeting that some of us will attend in person with direct presentations specifically on the impact of electric school buses. So that's just that's the main topic of concern right now at the School Boards Institute level. And then lastly, policy committee. We haven't met since the last board meeting. Tonight we'll be approving hopefully the revised policies, and then we have our next policy committee meeting September 26th, right before the next board meeting. And that's it for subcommittee reports.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'd just like to follow up with your last statement there, Mr. Staten. And Our subcommittees have met, I believe, 4 times so far this summer. We've had very, very good dialogue. And we had a wealth of information presented by the employees. I know the summer is more conducive for that opportunity, but we as board members have been updated and given a lot of information of what's actually taking place and what's planning to be implemented during the school year. And we really appreciate it, and we're hoping to keep that going. So thank you all for attending those meetings and your reporting out as well. It's been very beneficial. Superintendent's report, Mr. Staten, opening enrollment.
All right, board, as you received recently, we have the opening enrollment report, and our opening date enrollment went down 4 from last year. Last year we were at 924, this year we were at 920. So there's a slight trend going down, but we're happy to see very, very minor change from last year. Any questions on that report? Senior student parking. So this actually came out. There was a car wash a couple weeks ago from this Quakerly girls soccer team at the Villaville Fire Department, and so I attended that, and I was talking with some parents, and they came to me with the idea they wanted their students, their seniors, to be able to paint a parking space in the parking lot. Apparently, some other schools do this, so they asked me about that. So I immediately reached out to Mr. Reed. And if you know Mr. Reed, he's a systems guy, a process guy that's formed, and he immediately created a form, set it up to the students, and he was fully supportive of that. So essentially, students are going to have the opportunity, as long as they're in good standing, and they've got a couple of days to this, they have to have permission to park, so they've got to get parental permission, submit forms, submit a photo of what the drawing is, the painting is, if they want to paint on their space out in the parking lot. And then that has to be approved, and then they have I think they have 3 different days after school with which to paint their spot. And then at the end of the year, as a condition, they have to paint it black over. So it's coming in by the end of the year. But I can tell you there's a lot of excitement in the senior class. We're posting on social media. They're very appreciative of this. And it's just one more, event to build some camaraderie, some school spirit within the organization. So thank you, Mr. Reed, for getting this form out and for supporting this initiative.
I just have one question. When I read it, do you have to monitor this, or is this something will be self-monitored by the class?
We'll monitor it. So good luck with that. There's some tweaks that they have to use a certain type of paint, but they don't damage the surface. But yeah, we've got a plan to.
Well, what if someone parks in their spot?
Yeah, that's another part of it. So it's an education for everybody in parking that we're gonna isolate this to a certain area of the parking lot, so we won't have random spots painted all over. So that'll be the zone where students know. All the student drivers will know this is the area where there's sign spots for people who will paint their spots. So it might be a bit of a learning curve, but we'll get into the routine.
Thank you and good luck.
Thank you.
I used to fight with just senior parking alone. I mean, it was a nightmare.
Yeah.
Nick, he's in my spot. I mean, you started the day with somebody being in someone's parking spot. And I wish you all the luck in the world,
Yeah, I
Mr.
was
Reed.
gonna ask what happens when someone parks over the line and they're taking up 2 spots, so they get to paint both.
That's a losing battle too. Thank you, guys. Mr. State, the capital project, old business?
Sure. So I'll start at the high school. The locker rooms, the plumbing work, the work is substantially complete. They're just going through the punch list right now to identify any minor issues that didn't finish. The exterior masonry is ongoing. Some of the precast stones, there was a long lead time and they weren't delivered till the end of August. So they're working on that around school hours, after school hours. At the middle school, the masonry, the trodden flooring, the classroom, the cafeteria flooring, the locker rooms, those are substantially complete. And again, the construction company is going through the punch list again, just identifying areas that were not complete, but it's mostly done. Same thing with the plumbing, the HVAC work, again, just addressing punch lists on those areas. And then at the elementary school, masonry, classroom, corridor, cafeteria flooring, again, substantially complete, just addressing some minor punch list items. The HVAC unit ventilators have not yet arrived. Projected timeline for that is the end of September. So that they, they close the spaces in the classrooms where those vents will be placed just for safety reasons. And then once they're here, again, the construction workers will work around the school hours to install those as soon as possible. And same thing with HVAC exhaust fans, they have not arrived yet. We're looking at a mid-October timeline for that. And those will go on the roof. Roof curbing will be installed prior to that date. Again, it's just a long timeline for some of these material supplies to arrive. But essentially, once the work is complete, it's not interfering with any school operations. To my knowledge, correct? And if you haven't seen the new flooring, you really should, because it's beautiful.
The
Absolutely
middle
beautiful.
school courses.
Thank you. Okay, I think we can move on to our agenda. I will read 7.1 through 7.12, then 13, excuse me. Oh, that's the new added, okay, yes. I'll just write everything in here. If anyone has any questions or concerns on any of the items, please raise that question at the end. 7.1 is to the approval of a resignation. 7.2 is the approval of an appointment of our building maintenance mechanic. 7.3 is the approval of the appointment of a teacher assistant. 7.4 is the approval of the appointment of a substitute teacher aide. 7.5 is the approval of an additional athletic appointment. 7.6 is the approval of a sports combination between the Sequoia Valley and New York Middle School Districts. 7.7 is the approval of an immunization service agreement. 7.8 is the approval of an agreement with Oneida County Sheriff and Sequoia Valley SPO. 7.9 is the approval of an agreement with Oneida County for SPO service 22-23. 7.10 is the approval of the revised review policies. And those policies involve code of ethics, probationary period for instructional employees, fundraising request forms, extracurricular participation policy, extracurricular eligibility contract. 7.11 is the approval of minutes of our August 22nd and our August 31st meetings. 7.12 is the approval of our Committee on Special Education and Committee on Preschool Special Education recommendations. And 7.13 is the approval of
The memorandum of understanding between the school and business employees.
and support. Does anyone have any questions or concern? Mr. Secretary. 7.5. May I have a motion to pull 7.5? Second, Judy. Discussion, Mr. Secretary.
Ben's my nephew, he's great, but I can't vote on that because it's family, so
So you will
I
abstain,
will abstain.
okay? Any other items? If not, may I have a motion to approve? You want to do that separate then, 7.5?
7.1 through 7.13.
Excluding 7.15. May I have a motion to approve those?
7.5.
Patty, second, CJ, all in favor? Okay, now I need a motion to approve 7.5.
So
Second. Mr. Cutello, you gotta do a blank. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Anyone abstain? Mr. Sacker, we have one abstention. Okay, we will go to public miscellaneous topics before we go to public. Miscellaneous topics? Yes,
I think the school board is great.
really great.
It is.
Very
It's clearly. I had a question about how, so is there a way that they can help us with that, or we're mainly return? Is that kind of part of that?
Actually, our athletic director, Mr. Jones, and I had a discussion with one of the contractors the other day about finding alternate ways to power that.
Because I won't be able to.
Not a whole foot.
But thank you, I'm sure. I just.
we're working on that.
Okay,
That would caught us off guard.
yeah, that. No, thank you, it's amazing. Thanks so much. You too, Charlie.
Right.
maybe you have to take a picture like at home in order to get the numbers to, if you're like, that's gonna take it from the side or something.
You know, I do have one quick miscellaneous topic. I just want to say, so I've been here a couple months, but this was my first week experiencing students on campus, and it's been awesome. As you know, the superintendent's office is up at the elementary school, so I spend more time up there, but I'm telling you, when students come in the morning and they are running into school, they're being told to walk, but they're running into school, they're hugging staff. I even got my first hug today, and it made me feel awesome. I don't know what it was. When they run up and hug people, and Mr. Putnam was out there high-fiving, he knows every student, you know what, all the staff know all the kids' names and welcoming back, and he's got nicknames for them. And it's just an awesome way to start the day for those kids. And as I said, it's a great way for me to start my day too, to see that. They have at the elementary school still, they have it's called Friday, correct me if I'm wrong, Friday Fashion Day.
Fashion Show Friday.
Fashion Show Friday. Only 3 students showed up this week. It's beginning at school, but you know, this kid was out there playing music, they're dancing, the kids walk down, and it's not necessarily fashion, they get to show off. One of them did a cartwheel and a split, or it's just nice. Again, nice little energy boost, and again, that was a fun way to start the morning. I spent a lot of time at the high school too, as you said, Mr. Reed, supporting the pay your parking spot. So it's got a lot of students. I'm talking on Friday, the last period of the class, the last period of the day. They had an ice cream supper. The whole school went out to the football field, and they had a lot of activities going on, rolling the football, kickball, frisbee. But it's just a nice way for students to mingle together and spend some time in a non-academic setting. So again, it's just a nice way to welcome back to school. So I'm so excited to see what's been going on. It's obviously, as a parent and resident of this district, I know the good stuff that happens, but until you're in the midst of experiencing it, I'm telling you, there's just awesome, outstanding stuff going on in this district. And I'm just so happy to be part of it. So thank you, gentlemen, thank you, staff, for what you do.
I have one item, miscellaneous items, and for the audience to know, we approved item 7.13, which was a memorandum of agreement between the school-related professional unit. And we met several times over the summer, and we needed assistance from one of our bargaining units in order to maintain and continue the staff that we've had in certain areas. And I'd like to thank Allison and Kathy for your willingness to work with us. It's a very difficult time, nothing's easy, but we opened school sufficiently with our bus drivers, and we met the needs of several individuals. So we thank you for that willingness to work together with us. Thank you. That's all I had, Mr. Satan.
And we still need bus drivers. So if anyone out there has any lessons at the time in the morning, please call us.
We are at public participation, and I don't believe we had anybody registered. We don't do that, so it's open right now. Okay, you want me to read this?
Do we have somebody that's,
Okay, I can read that.
we're gonna read something and then we'll.
Dear members of the community, thank you for attending tonight's meeting. Prior to opening the floor to the public, we ask that you please keep in mind the following. First, the public to be heard is intended solely as an opportunity for the community to voice their opinions and or your concerns. Number 2, the Board of Education policy prohibits parties from participating in immediate dialogue. Therefore, we are not able to answer your questions or enter into any active conversation. 3, the Board of Education will review all materials presented and respond if needed in a very timely manner. We genuinely value and appreciate all input and support from this community. Thank you for your understanding. Do we have anyone who would like to participate? Okay,
That would
Yes, sir.
be me. Actually, it would be me.
would you please stand and just
Yeah.
state your name?
My name is Lori Egan. This is my first board meeting, not my first time meeting with some of the board members a couple years ago. I live across the street I'm the one with the dogs and all the trees in landscaping. Unfortunately, I am also the one for 15 years that has raised the issue of the sound coming from the PA system. I have nothing against sports. The issue is the level of the noise, the music, and the sports announcer. And excuse me, this is a very emotionally charged topic for me. So I have explained to former Superintendent Wheelock and did work with him for many years to try and redress the issue. The sound comes down into my house. So from September to November, I can't open my windows. Or if I close them, unfortunately, because sound carries, and when they put that system in, they did no remediation to contain the sound into the field. Do I know that I am not the only one who has concerns or been bothered by this? I have. I do know that there are other people on both sides of the building. That no one speaks up. That's okay, I get it. But I came tonight because of a run-in I had yesterday in that field. The music was exceptionally loud. You know, I live here. I work from home now, and I want to just enjoy my home. I've lived there for 56 years. For the first 40, this district has been a wonderful neighbor. The last 15, not so much. I asked for recognition for people to be cognizant that people live here. I get it. You all come in, you work, you're excited, you all go home. And this is my home. So I did approach the field. First time, 15 years, I approached the field, the music was loud. I kind of felt bad for the tennis players going on because it just carries everywhere. And I ran into your home careers person. Pleasant man, not so much. Had the attitude of not turning it down. No, I'll turn it down, won't turn it off. And I mentioned the sign, there's a sign in that booth. Well, Mr. Wheelock's gone. And I'm like, yeah, I'm aware of that. You'll have to address Mr. Staten. I had emailed you. Clearly, the email didn't get through. And as I said, I could not email the board. So here I am. I simply want to enjoy my house. Okay, I don't want to have to be locked in. And I understand from past conversations that, well, we can turn it down. Well, that's great, but you know what? It doesn't stay turned down. I'm not trying to deprive kids of anything, but last night, those kids were on the field practicing. There was background noise. Okay? And I was mad. And I kept my tongue civil. And I looked for somebody to address. And I was not pleased. First of all, he wasn't wearing a name badge other than a lanyard about Sequoia Hill. He was the administrative person in charge of the field, okay? Nor did I appreciate the attitude. Not even an apology of, I'm sorry, you're right, it's loud. Nope, the kids need their music. And I'm like, I'd like to enjoy my house, okay? This has been an ongoing thing, and nothing's gotten done. And you know, I came here tonight because I need to tick off the list that I have met with the board and the new superintendent. Because clearly I will be asked that if I have to address this via other means, okay? I don't want to do that. I don't understand what the big deal is about doing some remediation. And in the meantime, having the agreement that I can enjoy my house again. Are people who were very petty, who, you know, in reaction to this, before I met with the board president and vice president in 2021, that we, for almost 6-7 months, line after line of person come and use the bottom of the driveway as a turnaround. It was a very passive aggressive form of, you know, you opened your mouth type of thing. How do I know that? Because it pretty much stopped after the meeting I had here with the superintendent and the board president and vice president. Okay, I don't appreciate having to come here and do this. But by the same token, that is my family home. That's all I have left of my parents who died very young. And I'm not moving. And I would like a little consideration from the people who are in charge of the music and the sports announcer. And I'd like to be able to sleep at night when games are running late and my windows are closed and the sports announcer's voice still comes through the windows. Okay, I can't help how sound works and sound carries. This is not my fault. And I have tried to be polite. And polite's got me nowhere. Okay, so I'm not quite sure, but I would like to be able to enjoy my home again. 15 years is a long time. There are people who have said, you're stupid, you should have called a lawyer years ago. Yeah, that's not how I wanted to do this. That is not the way it should be. But that was the way it's been, that nothing's really been done. So I really am glad that you are all doing well, but understand that every noise, every sound, the beeping of horns, the nonstop construction that started at 6 a.m. this morning, 6 a.m. Okay, I was like, this is really pleasant. They couldn't wait till 7. We've listened to that all summer, Monday through Friday. There's not even a public appreciation thank you to the neighbors that live immediately around here for putting up with all the noise. Because there are other people that work from home in this area, folks. And there are people that have health issues, and it would just be nice. I had one person look at me and say, well, why don't you move? Because this is the house my mother died. It kind of means something to me. And I care about Suquite, and I care about this district. But you know, that's apparently a one-way street. So that is my somewhat emotional to make people aware that, you know, I could have just planted a whole row of trees and a very big fence. It wouldn't have it wouldn't have fixed things. I wanted to take care of that house because people stop in front of it every single day. I wanted them to have something nice to look at. So, that's about it. And that was what I emailed you about. So,
Sure.
Doug, how many, like September, October, November, do we have a lot of games that go late past, like, I'm assuming that there's some kind of sound ordinance in the town of Paris, 10 PM? Do we have a lot of games that go past 10?
No, we used to have 7 o'clock games, we tried to do games at 6:30, because
Yeah.
these games earlier. 10 o'clock,
We don't have
not very,
anything that
but
goes past.
maybe very rarely,
I
very
think
rarely.
maybe one game last
But,
year.
I mean, we can't discuss a lot,
Yeah.
I'll give you
Yeah.
what we've done over the
Yeah.
years. And I know it doesn't always work out, because there's always a change in
Yeah.
who's running Pop Warner, who's
Yeah.
running this,
Yeah.
and
well,
it is locked for the music, but some things.
No.
Driver because,
not last night. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
and it was turned down, it was on 6 and we agreed to 4, it was up to 6, they turned it to 3 last night, right?
I don't know. I left.
Okay, it was turned to 3 last night. It was up to 6 and they turned it back to 3, and it was agreed upon over the years. 4 was the good limit. Now, there are nights that are just clearer.
Yeah.
A CD is burned different. It's louder. I mean, I know what you're going, I understand what you're going through, and I don't, but we have, made efforts, and it's not perfect, obviously. And anything that, but, our games are over earlier than they used to be. It's generally back. We stop, we have told, and again, we get coaches, people running the booth, we try our best in doing that, but not starting the music only 30 minutes before the game starts. It used to be an hour before the game starts. So we have tried to make those mandates, and we continue to try to make them 30 minutes before. There's been times going back and forth at halftime. It's usually 10 minutes of sporting events, where if it's late at night and during the middle of the week, Monday through Thursday, we won't let them play music at halftime. Friday, Saturday, maybe a little bit different. That's something that, I don't know, that's something to put forth to you guys.
I just want to run very quickly through it. First of all, thank you for coming tonight. And I'm sorry that you are experiencing this, because I live 2 miles from here and I can hear them broadcasting, so I can't even imagine what it sounds like at your house. Mr. Alfante did bring this to my attention, and as Mr. Jones said, he had some type of device to prevent that speaker from going up past 3 or 4, and somebody overrode it. So we need to get back on and make sure that doesn't happen. I apologize. Yes, thank you for putting up with the noise all summer long, and I can't imagine, I didn't know they were out there at 6 o'clock, and I'll talk to the project manager.
This morning, yeah, I was like, really, after last night? But it's the attitude. I got nothing against sport. I didn't create the problem.
It was a matter of how dismissive he was.
No, I don't, what I don't understand is that it was clearly loud and he was clearly standing there.
Yeah, I apologize, I don't know what I said, but I will tell you that at halftime, when they started playing the music again, he went right up there and he told them, no, gotta turn it down. So, if your exchange wasn't pleasant, I apologize, but I will tell you that he did listen to you, because he made them turn it down bigger. And he did bring it to our attention, and something that we really have to address. So
I'm not surprised that he did bring it to your attention. Because I was just, the attitude was very dismissive, and I'm sorry, but there's gotta be a better way to handle this in the long term, so that kids could have some music and I could have my house again and have my windows open. I don't know what to tell you. But there's grant money, there's all sorts of things. It was, what sort of priority is it? Well, I don't know. I've lost 15 years. 15 years.
I like it.
That's fine.
We will look into this, because you're right. No one's gonna ask you to move, that's not fair.
I have several questions. I think it'd be best if we could.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lori. Any other public participation? If not, I need a motion to go into executive session to discuss personnel issue. Patty, second CJ, all in favor?
What time?
I have 7:45.